Let me think. You pondered, trying your best to temporarily name your little guest. I want to name you as not to get you too confused with each other, you exclaim before sitting your little friends down on your bed. How about we start with something simple first, you say. Mickey and Chuck E. Cheese. Both mice immediately shook their heads no, obviously not liking the names at all. No, right, too silly, you spoke, so you tried again. Chad and Brad? Again. Ninju frantically shook their heads, immediately not liking those names at all as they glanced at you, squeaking their disapproval. Yeah, too cringe. You laughed nervously and decided to try something else. Let's try colors. Since both of your fur is black and white, how about Kuro and Shiro? You ask. Both Ninju looked at each other and began squeaking, clearly contemplating before glancing up at you. They thought the names weren't bad, considering it both simple and traditional, but it wasn't enough as Ninju again shook their heads no. Didn't that either, okay. At this point, you decide to randomly name them until something sticks. I'm gonna butcher all of these names. Kurimi and Kurigai? Both meaning darkness. You figured it works considering Tengen is a ninja, and the ninju act like his personal Abu Black Osu. Okay. Once again, Ninju shook their heads, thinking that was way too edgy. Coin and dollar? Tempting, but no. Okay, how about food? You inquired with a curious smile. I named my cat Marshmallow because of her white fur, you tell them before suggesting 2 food names. Ramen and udon? The ninja's eyes lit up at the mention of delicious Japanese dishes. They pondered for a moment, their stomachs growling in anticipation. After a while, they contemplated. They had to shake their heads and squeak in disagreement. Delicious, but no. Killer and Bandit? No. Adito and Ohai? Ninju thinks it was far too cute, so no. Kuro and Guru? You said only to frown. Damn, you thought for sure they would like those names, but again. Ninju respond with a no, as they both give you a thumbs down. Heizo and Genji? Okay, now you're just frustrated at this point and could only sigh in defeat when the buff mice shook their heads. But you still have one more in you. Remy and Ratatouille? You say with fake excitement. Ninju angrily glared at you and squeaked, as if saying, Hey, that's sensitive. Sorry, you apologize. Well, it was worth a short, as you finally gave up and flopped down onto your bed, while burying your face into the plush of your comforter. Ugh, I give up, you groaned. Who would have thought that the ninja were so picky when it comes to names? You assume this is why Tengen called them Ninju/Shiro, buff mice, which refer to them as a whole and not individually. You glanced up upon feeling one of them pat your head as if encouraging you not to give up, which lightened your mood up a bit as you sat back up. Okay, I yield. What do you guys suggest, You asked kindly. You watched as they stuck a pose and flexed, golden sparkles comedically flashing across their person. Indeed, they were both fabulous and manly, which only encouraged you more. Truly, they were just like Tengen, both flamboyant and flashy, quite the show-offs, if to say. That's when it dawned on you. Oh, I know. How about flamboyant names, you ask, a sparkle of excitement in your eyes. The ninja immediately perked up at the word flamboyant, obviously liking the sound of the idea as you chuckled and began to imagine the possibilities of these names bringing some more pizzazz to their already vibrant personalities. It doesn't have to be anything too extreme, but something simple and clean. You say, muscle. They agree happily with you. Okay, how about you go first? You pointed at mouse number 1, and the little guy nearly waited for your command. Can you do your best flamboyant pose for me? You asked. The little guy nodded, and the mouse wasted no time as he did a front double bicep pose and flexed, showing off his arm muscular explosive biceps and pecs. It was quite a sorry, I'm laughing at that. Straight to behold, the tiny creature puffing out its chest and striking a pose with such confidence and swagger. Apparently this one likes to flex and show off his arms a lot, as it gave you an idea. Impressive biceps, you complimented. Seems like your arms are your favorite, am I right? Muscle. Definitely. You smiled, taking that as a yes. Alright, then I'll call you Udi. You smiled. Muscle? He cocks his head in question. Udi means arms. I figured it describes you, considering you enjoy doing that signature pose and flexing your biceps. What do you think? You asked, hoping the little mouse liked the name. Well, it's simple and somewhat flashy, but nonetheless, the little mouse, now known as Udi, gave you a thumbs up of approval. Muscle. Pleased with your positive inspection, you couldn't help but smile at the little mouse's reaction. Great, I'm happy you liked it, you said happily, applauding yourself before turning to the attention of Buff Mouse number 2. Now you, show me your best flamboyant pose. And, like his partner/brother, Mouse 2 flexed and did the side chest pose that displayed his chest size and muscles from either side. His choosing to pose from the left, which is more dominant, showed off his impressive physique, fitness, his pectorals producing and flexing. You couldn't help but marvel at the impressive display of power and discipline that had gone into shaping his body. Wow, aren't you flashy? You're certainly almost beefy than your twin. I'll give you that, you say. The mouse rubbed the back of his head bashfully, blushing slightly at your compliment. I take you enjoy flexing your chest a lot, you asked, gently scratching him behind the ear affectionately. Muscle. Then your name will be Meal, which means chest. You tell him, a gentle smile playing on your lips. It may not be ideal, but I think it's nice. You hope the meaning behind the name would retort to him. Muscle 2 pondered for a moment, which made you a little anxious, thinking that he wouldn't like the name. However, eventually he nods in agreement, giving you his approval. You smile happily. The ninja loved the names you had given them. Then it settles. Pleased to meet you, Umu and Michi, you said. I know both names are not as ideal, considering their names referring to areas of the body, but I think they're flamboyant. And besides, what's more flamboyant than the body? Both Umi and Miu begins squeaking as you couldn't help but giggle. You're right. With diamonds, gold, and trinkets does sound way more flashy. You rolled your eyes. Then you gently picked up your newfound furry friends and hugged them, careful not to crush them or break their little bones. Either way, I still think you guys are the most flamboyant, you tell them. Despite only knowing them for 18 minutes, you already growing attached to them as you smiled when Umi and Miu hugged you back. Well, you were definitely going to thank Tengen once he came back.